buy it when I was downtown, and it works out nice. I made another one here. Look at that. Look how nice that is. And you don't have to fill nothing in there. I mean, you can't fill them and let them sit for hours. This is something that you will fill and eat immediately. I mean, it's something for a nice presentation. Or you leave the pizzelles just like this, put them on a plate. It makes it really look nice for decorative. Set your plate up and all. It's the same taste, it just looks nice. That's if you have time to play around. If you don't want to play around, you just do here, you stack them up. You have plenty of time, I mean, you have plenty of pizzelles for the holidays. 12 eggs is really the perfect amount, but 6 eggs works. It depends if you entertain a lot. And one good thing about pizzelles and biscotti is that they don't need to be frozen. They don't need to be refrigerated. You keep them in a tin can. Make sure you line the tin can with some wax paper or tin foil. Airtight. Put them in a cool spot. We're not going to store them in a heater room. Just put them in a nice cool spot. They'll last a long time. Open up the tin, you take them out. Other kind of cookies that I do that have filling and stuff like that, we freeze. And the way to do that is as soon as the cookie is cooled off, you take it out of the oven, you cool them off, you get your tins, you can buy them at the craft store, or you buy potato chips, popcorn in them, and you can just use those old tins and fill them up, put them in the freezer. If you have a deep freeze, which would be not a frost-free refrigerator, you don't want that. Deep freeze is the best thing, because what that does is keeps that temperature all the time. Your cookies will come out perfect, every time. Now, we were talking a little earlier about a cookie that I made the other day, and this is called a gajanit. It's a ravioli. It's a fried ravioli. We will never have the time to do it today, but what it is, I'll get a knife, I'll show you what this is. Keep an eye on me here. And it's the dough is just wine, oil, and flour. Equal parts of wine and oil, and then double the amount of flour. And then you make a dough, and then you get chestnuts. That's why they're called gajanits. Kashtan is chestnuts in Italian. Now this is frozen. I took this out of the freezer because we made these, like I said the other day, but it's filled chocolate, chestnuts, nuts, and some kind of preserve. Could be grape jelly, strawberry jelly, whatever. You make this the day ahead of time, the filling, and then the next day, when the filling sets, it gets firm, you just make your raviolis and you stretch it out on a machine and pasta machine. You need a pasta machine to do that. You could do it by hand, but it's a lot harder if you start stretching the dough by hand. But let me tell you something. The flavor, it's excellent. Excellent, excellent. It's a traditional Italian cookie for the holidays, but because now that they have chestnuts inside of a jar, you can do it any time of the year. So if you're going to have a wedding or whatever you need, you want to bake it, you feel like doing it in the middle of summer or in the spring, you can do it. And the filling, because it has liquor in it, you put liquor in it, it'll last. My filling goes from year to year. I don't have to freeze it, nothing. It just stays perfect. Refrigerated. These should be with a little more care. I would put these in the freezer, and you could keep them out if it's only a week or so. I wouldn't let them stay out too long because of all the stuff that's in it, but the dough will never get bad because the dough is, like I said, it's nothing in there but oil and wine and flour. All right, I think my biscotti are done. I'm going to go. Oh, yes, they are. They're perfect. I could just tell by looking at them. Look at that. And you put these in a can, and that's it. Take them out in the morning, dunk them in your coffee, your tea, your hot chocolate. And here's my the other loaf that we did when we first started. It's smaller than the other one, but that's because I made it smaller. Like I said, you can make it any variation of size you want. This is really a perfect size. You could even make them smaller. And what's great about the biscotti, and I said it before, you just throw these in a can, and you can store them anywhere. You can store them in your garage, you can store them in a cool spot in the house. Just keep them in a cool spot. Don't put them in a heater room or anything like that. I mean, then you're looking for problems. But really, these are done. Look how nice. Perfect. Perfect biscotti. And then, like I said, this next one will be smaller, and we'll even cut one for you to show you. This other one. And I take all these ends, I usually give them to the kids. Or my mom, she'll take it in the morning and she'll put it in her coffee. Look at that. Come nice. Isn't that nice? And you don't even have to toast this if you don't want to. There's people that don't like to toast it. You could eat it just the way it is. It's almost like a sponge. And truthfully, I've seen people take the whole pan and cover it with the dough and just make it like a layer of a sponge. You don't have to make it in the shape of a biscuit if you're having a problem doing that. There's no set rules when it comes to cooking. You are the artist. You can do anything you want. There is a little bit of discipline when it comes to a recipe, especially when it comes to baking powder, flour, stuff like that. If you put too much, you can ruin it. Or if you don't put enough, you can ruin it. But when you're doing it, cooking, baking, be creative. If you're making chocolate chip cookies, throw whatever you want to throw in there. Yeah, you could toffee chips in there, peanut butter chips in there. It doesn't become a true chocolate chip cookie, but it becomes something that you create. And that's what it's all about. You are in charge of the kitchen. Do it. Do what you want to do. And it's fun. You'll have fun doing it. Believe me when I tell you have fun doing it, you'll do it. We just took you through a quick rundown how to make pizzelles and biscotti. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I know I did. Sammy called me. He said, what do you say we come over there and do a little shoot? Sammy from Chefs. Been with them now for 5 years. I've been loving it. And it's a great show, and I just love the people coming on the show. And we couldn't have picked the perfect day. We just said, well, let's do it next Wednesday. We had no idea. It's actually snowing outside. There's a couple inches of snow. It's a perfect day. Got a fire roaring now. And I'm done my baking for today. I'll have a little taste of what I did. And then I'm going to go cook some dinner later, and we're going to relax and maybe watch a Christmas movie. But I hope he's learned something today. It's, when you bake or you cook, it can be fun. And it's all about bringing people together and having fun. And you do it for the holidays, you do it all the time. It's trying to keep everybody together. And that's what we try to do. People don't want to do this kind of work anymore because it's too much work, it's too much work. It is a little work, but you know what? The payoff is great when you have it. Nothing comes easy. So get your family together, get in the kitchen and make a batch of biscotti, pizzelles, or whatever you want to make, chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies, whatever your heart desires, but go out there and do it. Just remember, La Piazza, where cooking comes from the heart. Now that's amore. We're wishing you the happiest and healthiest holiday and New Year. And I'm going to do a little taste of my biscotti. And don't be afraid to dunk. Look at that. A little cup of hot chocolate. The best. From our house to yours. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone.